I'm on a mission to beat him UFC 109. I want this fight more than any other fight I've ever had. Whatever happens after that is going to happen. But I'm just doing everything I possibly can now, more than ever, to beat him. I cannot go into that fight and lose.
You guys had sort of a little fun back and forth throughout the build-up. It wasn't the tense, we hate each other, but it was the competitive back and forth. Has there been any conversation since?
I don't know. I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm done being nice to him. He's talked scrap behind my back too much. I'm going out there and I'm going to beat his ass, and that's it. I'm going to get that belt back. It's just too surreal. It was too surreal to lose that fight, and then it's too surreal to look up. He has my belt on. And I'm lucky, I'm blessed that we have a short amount of time to wait until I have the opportunity to take that right back. But no, yeah, I'm done, man. If I had to pick one person not to lose to, it's Luke. And that was before that last fight, and I lost. And now his head's got even bigger, and it's my fault. And I have to do something about that. It's my responsibility. And that's not my main focus at all. But that's there. This guy needs to be humbled. And, obviously that night, I guess it was my turn to get humbled.
Chris, what did you think about the last Anderson Silva's fight?
What? I'm not Chris. I'm Gian Villante. I'm Chris Weidman's sidekick. That's what people are calling him. I'm not. I don't say that.
He told us that he bathes you, he scrubs your back, and that you haven't done anything for him this week.
This kid, all he does is complain. He tries to act like I'm bougie. This is the new word. It's bougie.
Bougie, yeah.
But in French, we say bougie. He tries to say that I'm bougie, but he is the bougiest of all. He really is. It's ridiculous. I was like, he wanted to eat breakfast this morning, so I was willing to cook him some eggs, but he didn't know, I'll do it. And then he complains afterwards, I have to cook my own breakfast. I'm like, well, I offered to, and then you said that you wanted to cook it yourself. He just wants things to complain about. He's so annoying. Honestly, we wanted to probably kill each other this morning. I wanted to kill him this morning. That was the least of it. Well,
he also told me that if you put you, Stipe, and him together, that everything in the house basically gets broken, and that you're like 3 big puppy dogs.
I'm gonna say that's probably right. That's probably what it's gonna look like. Those two are bigger and fatter puppy dogs than me. I'm more agile. I won't break as many things, but.
We were talking to him about working together for this camp, and how after your fight, you had said, there's some things that maybe wanted to change, and people kind of took that as the fact that you were going to leave. So can you set the record straight? Because I feel like that was the assumption everybody said, you were going to leave Serra-Longo.
No, no, it was never a thought of that, but I know people assume that. I just knew there were certain things that I wanted to work on and expand on in my repertoire of MMA skills, and so now we are working with Mark Henry. I'm going out to Jersey a couple days a week. He's coming out to Long Island. We're meeting in the city, and he is just unbelievable. He's like a mad scientist, and he just is a great compliment to our team. He's it's a part of the Hensel Gracie family, and now him and Longo, they work well. They work great together, and so I'm just really blessed to be in the situation I am. And it's like I said, I wouldn't be training at this point. I wouldn't be doing any of the stuff I'm doing, working as hard as I am at this point leading up to a fight. I start 6 weeks out usually, and so I'm getting so much better where I wouldn't have grown before. So this loss, in hindsight, has really allowed me to grow on a whole nother level.
But it was prior to that just a case if it's not broken, don't fix it?
Exactly. So it's just, I didn't lose for 7 years, and you get stuck doing the same things all the time, and it's like, all right, I'm beating these guys still, and my fight before Luke was Vitor Belfort. I'm 6-week camp. I'm running through them. I'm like, all right, we're gonna keep this going. I've been in fights with injuries. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna fight through it, and I'm gonna beat these guys. And then Luke beat me. He taught me a lesson, and now it's my turn to come back in there and teach him a lesson. And I'm just very excited for this fight like never before. You have to realize my first title fight ever was against Anderson Silva, the greatest of all time. It was my goal to beat him and then beat him again. And then after that, I had one legend after the other. It was awesome. I had people thinking I was going to lose, and I knew I was going to win. It was a great feeling. Then all of a sudden, I'm fighting Luke Rockhold, and I got to tell people who he is because no one knows who he is. So that fight wasn't as big in my head as far as excitement. I took it seriously. But this fight now with Luke, the way I think of him is on a whole nother stratosphere. All I do is think of Luke now. All I do is watch tape on him. All I do is figure out how to beat him, and that's all I'm doing now. He is on my brain all day long.
And is the frustration more about how you lost or just who you lost to? Is it Luke as a person or just how the fight went?
No, it's a fact that I lost. Number one, how I lost. Number two, and then who I lost to. Number three.
Okay, the trifecta of frustration there.
Yeah.
But did you think that he's a person who can stay there a long time? Obviously, if you get a shot at him next again, you would like to take him down. But a lot of people think that he's going to be really hard to beat for a lot of people in the division.
I mean, he's a great fighter. There's no question about it. And looking at the division, I think he beats most of the other guys. I would say he beats all the guys majority of the time. But I really feel like I'm on a whole nother level than him, and it's I know it's easy for him to say the opposite because what happened in the last fight. But I have this opportunity now to show people that I'm right, and we have to wait to UFC 199 for anybody to really believe me, but we will see.
And what did you think of Michael's win over Anderson?
I thought Michael gave 100%. I think he gave everything he possibly can to win that fight. He walked forward. He was punching in situations where people would have froze. Anderson used every trick in the book, but I still thought Anderson won the fight. I thought Anderson won the fight, but I'm giving Bisping a lot of credit. He did everything he can to win that fight. If you're going by effort, he 100% won the fight. But
so you gave the fourth round to Anderson then, because I
gotta go back and look at each round by round. But I'm gonna say I don't want to talk round by round because I can't really remember each round like that. But I'm gonna say I just know at the end of the fight I thought Anderson won, and thought Bisping tried hard, and I was happy for him because I'd like to see effort and hard work pay off for him, and he's been through a lot in his career. And this is a guy who all he does is talk down my career, so screw him at the end of the day.
He does.
But he's the biggest hater I know. But still, I was happy for him because I like to see people do good, and. But I thought Anderson, he has to look at himself in the mirror right now and be sick to his stomach. Hey, you don't want to go into a fight and not give it your all, and to lose because of that. And I feel like he beat himself in that fight. He didn't. I still thought he won, but he obviously he let it go to the judges and he lost. So he beat himself, I thought. But
yeah, I think that's how a lot of people feel, that he could have won had he done certain things a little differently or kept pushing the pace, maybe used a little bit more head kicks. People sort of feel like the opportunity was there.
And yes, I agree. And I think there was times he should have finished. I think if after he threw that knee, if he just went over him like this, they would have called the fight off right before the bell rang. But instead he ran to the opposite side of the cage and jumped on him and refused to get off. I don't know what the hell was going on. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. What was?
Well, I was just saying that most people think that Anderson could have won if he had pressed the action a little bit.
I just touch on is that people want to say it looks so easy, the things that Anderson's doing. He's on against the cage, so imagine if he was actually giving his 100%. But that is Anderson at his best. That is Anderson doing the best he can to confuse this guy, to make him feel like he has no chance of beating him. And then he throws these little things out of the dark and he tries to land them. I think he went excessive, and I think he could have did things differently. But a big part of his game is that. He's not going to be as good at him just stalking you down. If you watch my second fight with him before the leg break, he was trying to fight traditional because he got so much heat for putting his hands down. And honestly, it was so much easier for me. It was so much easier. I just saw everything he was doing. It was just very traditional.
Well, yeah, to me, when you see him doing the razzmatazz, that's when I know that Anderson is in the zone. And to me, that's when you know he's going to be really dangerous.
So yeah, it's not that he's not trying. Yeah. It's not he's not putting his hands down because he wants to lose the fight and he wants to show that he's not trying. He's trying his ass off to get this W. He was going a little bit too hard to have the dramatic knockout, and I think that hurt him. But I'm not going to say that. I don't want people to think that Anderson didn't go out there and try. He tried, and Bisping did a good job. But I just think he could have done things differently and probably won the fight. For certain, yeah.
Thanks so much, Chris.
No problem.